In June 2025, the fragile peace in the Middle East shattered as Israel launched Operation Rising Lion, a massive preemptive strike against Iran. Years of covert conflict erupted into open war after Israel claimed credible intelligence showed Iran was on the brink of building a nuclear weapon. Israeli leaders insisted the attack was a defensive necessity, arguing that diplomacy had failed and a nuclear-armed Iran was an existential threat. The operation aimed to cripple Iran's military and nuclear infrastructure in a swift, decisive blow. The Israeli War Cabinet, after secret deliberations, concluded that inaction was riskier than war. As Israeli jets struck Iranian targets, the world watched in alarm as the shadow war became a full-scale conflict. In Israel, the campaign was framed as a fight for survival. In Tehran, it was condemned as unprovoked aggression. The stage was set for a brutal, unpredictable war that would reshape the region. Israel's campaign combined precision airstrikes with covert sabotage, targeting over 100 Iranian military and nuclear sites. Mossad operatives and drones disabled missile launchers and air defenses, clearing the way for the Israeli Air Force. Targeted assassinations of senior Iranian commanders further disrupted Iran's response. Civilian casualties mounted quickly, with strikes hitting not just military targets but also hospitals, sparking international outrage. Over 100,000 Iranians fled Tehran as infrastructure collapsed and electricity shortages worsened. The relentless assault showcased Israel's hybrid warfare, blending intelligence, special forces, and overwhelming firepower. Iran's ability to retaliate was severely weakened, but the humanitarian toll was devastating. The conflict escalated dramatically when the United States intervened, deploying B-2 stealth bombers for surgical strikes on Iran's fortified nuclear sites. Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan's nuclear facilities were obliterated with bunker-buster munitions, setting back Iran's nuclear program by years. President Trump declared the mission a success, warning Iran against retaliation and moving more US forces into the region. The US demanded Iran's unconditional surrender and imposed new sanctions targeting missile and drone programs. The use of advanced bombers signaled American resolve and technological dominance. The intervention transformed a regional war into a global crisis, with the US fully aligned with Israel. Diplomatic solutions faded as military confrontation became the new reality. In response, Iran unleashed over 400 ballistic missiles and 1,000 drones at Israel, aiming to overwhelm its air defenses. While most threats were intercepted, some missiles struck urban areas, causing casualties and terror. Iran escalated with advanced missiles, including cluster munitions, inflicting heavy damage. The deadliest attack hit Soroka Medical Center in Beersheba, injuring dozens and causing a hazardous chemical leak. Civilian infrastructure became a target, deepening the war's human cost and hardening Israeli resolve. Daily life in Israel was upended, with schools closed and people sheltering from constant attacks. The psychological impact was profound, as no part of the country felt truly safe. The Israel-Iran war sent shockwaves worldwide, triggering urgent but fruitless diplomatic efforts. The UN Security Council was paralyzed as the US and Iran refused to back down. Iran's regional proxies, including Hezbollah and the Houthis, threatened to widen the conflict. The risk of a broader regional war loomed, with Hezbollah's vast rocket arsenal poised to open a second front. Analysts warned of cyber attacks and threats to global oil supplies through the Strait of Hormuz. The Middle East teetered on the brink, with both sides locked in a cycle of escalation. The world watched anxiously, hoping for a diplomatic breakthrough that seemed increasingly unlikely. Meanwhile, ordinary people in Iran and Israel bore the brunt of a war with no clear end in sight.